Good evening. Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm about to give a really unpopular opinion, and I'm sure it's going to be especially unpopular amongst women.
I'm Gray Mars. Break a record by being with 100 men in one day. And right after she was done, she recorded a documentary.
I'm a vegan weed. Call yourself fresh and wear the same weak ass turtleneck on every show. Goddamn. Then we got goddamn the Sudanese Sambo. Bruh, man.
And I'm Enzo. Bringing up in my lives is they're like, oh well, he's violating the Constitution by having a meme coin and him making money off it in office and everything like that. I was like, if that was the case, like there would be lawsuits up the ass and impeachment inquiry.
I'm skeptic. Like I always say, don't let anybody trample on your constitutional rights.
I'm Mia. That's not a correct power dynamic in my mind. Typically, the people that are trying to be removed are not in control. That's why they're easily being removed.
The government, states, they start putting these RICO acts on Diddy, all of these guys, and try to put it on these ongoing criminal organizations. I ain't never seen the government put a RICO act on the KKK.
Switch happened. Come on, man. You gotta acknowledge this. This is the problem that I have with elders like you, because you fail to acknowledge that this stuff has happened.
If we sit there and be old school, we gonna miss the boat. You know, a lot of this kids 19 years old buying houses with Bitcoin, buying Maserati.
Wow.
I think when it comes to the woman, if a man takes charge and he shows that he's logical,
same people. That's number two. That's all theater. This is WWF.
Sources familiar tell MSNBC former FBI Director James Comey is expected to be indicted in the coming days. The full extent of the charges being prepared against Comey is unclear. Joining us now, MSNBC Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Delanian and MSNBC Senior Investigative Correspondent Carol Lenig. Chris O'Leary, Ashley Parker still with us. Carol, help us understand the reporting.
So, Katie, we have some sources who say that for several weeks now, the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Eastern District of Virginia, and actually in offices that are potentially much further south than Alexandria, have been eyeing ways to indict Comey, and they are getting very much closer. The statute of limits, rephrase, they are arguing that Comey, there is evidence to suggest Comey lied to Congress in his testimony on the Hill in September of 2020. And for viewers out in the audience who may not be legally as nerdy as me and Ken, I'll just say that there's a statute of limitations to charge people with the crime of lying to Congress or perjury, and that's 5 years. The 5-year statute runs this month.
So what exactly is he accused of lying about, Ken?
Well, there was an...
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Described him as one of the most dangerous men on the face of the earth.
Welcome to the Man Cave. Welcome to the Man Cave. I'm Gray Mars. You're muted, Ken.
Ken Billions, what's good?
What's going on, them Doc?
I'm Enzo.
85 Slim.
I'm Mia.
Oh, for sure. So, what did y'all think about the James Comey getting indicted? That was breaking news, so I wanted to put that out there. Mia, what you think?
I think the president has a vendetta, and the DOJ is working out his vendetta for him. I'm not surprised. I will say a lot of nefarious and seedy things went down in the prior administration. We're now finding out they were censoring and suppressing people. They were pressuring social media giants to eliminate people's accounts because they had alternative thoughts, which, I mean, we do have the freedom of speech. So it wouldn't surprise me that they're trying to get Comey.
Ken, what about you?
Nothing burger. It's a nothing burger. It's a nothing burger.
Enzo?
I agree with Mia. It's a vendetta. Look at what they did to him starting in 2015 when he said he was going to run for president. They went after him for everything and anything, so he's just getting his get back. And I mean, I still want answers on why he found that shell formation of the 8647 on the beach. Want to know about that.
Doc? I see you saw. I thought the FBI director was paid to lie. So you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I don't know how many Americans think that the director of the FBI isn't lying to us. The director of all of these large 3-letter organizations, they're all paid to lie to us. I mean, if they came out and told us the truth, we'd probably burn the country down. I mean, so no one thinks that nobody thinks he's not lying. We just thought that was part of the job. You know what I mean? I guess you got to tell the lies they tell you to tell, though.
Slim, welcome back. What you think?
Oh man, indictments don't mean nothing without prosecution. So until they get prosecuted, I'm just waiting to see what happens. But this is a good thing. It's a start. They should all fall one by one.
Well, there was a shooting today, so I'm gonna get straight into it. Here's a news clip.
If we get it, and particularly we're interested, obviously, in learning about the conditions of the 3 individuals that were struck this morning.
Yeah, that's I-35. The east side is where you see most of the traffic. People are probably slowing down to watch and see what's going on. Look at all of the police cars. There's so many lights. They go all the way up to the top. This is the access road in Texas. You have your main highway, and then you always have those access roads that run alongside or parallel to the highway.
Hey, Griff,
So that was basically just, the clip showing it, but they're already basically making a left versus right thing, and this is what J.D. Vance had to say.
And I think that is the most disgusting thing. The very people who keep us safe ought to be honored and protected and praised by Democrats and Republicans alike. It is time to stop the rhetorical assault on law enforcement. Because here's what happens. Because here's what happens when Democrats like Gavin Newsom did say that these people are part of an authoritarian government. When the left-wing media lies about what they're doing, when they lie about who they're arresting, when they lie about the actual job of law enforcement, what they're doing is encouraging crazy people to go and commit violence. You don't have to agree with my immigration policies. You don't have to agree with Donald Trump's immigration policies. But if your political rhetoric encourages violence against our law enforcement, you can go straight to hell, and you have no place in the political conversation of the United States of America.
Chrissy Nome said this, and Enzo, I'm pretty sure you agree with J.D. Vance. So a lot of information hasn't came out yet, but what do you feel about what J.D. Vance said?
I agree with him 100%. I've been saying this for months about what's been going on in this country. This is a right versus left issue. There's no question who did this. Because if we're gonna question this, okay, look back what happened to the immigration office on July 4th. It was 12 Antifa members that were arrested for shooting up an ICE facility. The only political violence is coming from the left. They tried to take out Trump. They took out They took out Charlie Kirk. They've been shooting at ICE facilities. They've been obstructing justice in ICE facilities. Where are we really supposed to look? Like, you can literally draw a straight line to the left with everything that has been going on over the last year with this, over the last few years with Trump. It's the rhetoric from the left, and it's starting with their politicians. There's plenty of videos dating back to when Donald Trump first started running for president of them calling for violence against anybody. Now you have mainstream streamers. Now you have all these people calling for this violence, that are condemning this violence and saying, well, it's okay because it's against their authoritarian immigration views. They're upholding the law and order of the country. I don't want to hear this. You guys, the left, I'm sorry, like, I'm going to shit on you guys all fucking night when it comes to what's going on in this country with this. Your saving grace is, oh, well, Donald Trump supporters attacked police officers on January 6th. Okay, cool. So why is it cool when you guys are doing it now? Why are we not holding them to the same standard? The hypocrisy runs deep on the left, and I'm literally so sick and tired of, oh, well, we need to get all the information first to see if this is somebody on the left. When 2 shootings that have happened in the last month have had anti-fascist rhetoric on the bullet casings. If you're going to try to mask it as somebody on the right, at least put MAGA on it or something. Like, you're smart enough to engrave it, put something that's going to throw the scent off the trail.
And to the people that's just coming in, if you don't know what happened, it was a young man that shot at the ICE facility. He actually ended up hitting 2 detainees, or 3, I think, and one of them died. He didn't hit any ICE agents, which is the irony of it. But I'm going to play Gavin Newsom's video, what people are accusing Gavin Newsom of saying this last night, because the guy did this today. Slim, is Gavin Newsom responsible for this young man going and doing this by saying that?
I wouldn't say nobody individually is responsible. But again, you know, the information that these guys put out, man, they control a lot of minds. And a lot of people have the same ideology when these things happen, man. It's just, I mean, Stevie Wonder could see what's popping. I know Nora be like, yo, don't try to be caught up in the right to left and all that stuff. But it's inevitable at this time, man. People should be able to see where it's coming from the people making fun of Charlie's death and all that stuff, man. That you have to see what's going on. And this is not new. This is what they've been doing. They just basically made it seem okay. And it's not okay, man. And now it's to the point where we as Americans, if we don't start seeing the division and where it's coming from, we just going to keep going downhill, man. But smart people could see where it's coming from.
For sure. So it's a right versus left thing going here, because Slim, you complain about my clips all the time. So Mia sent a clip just for you guys. She said she got it from Enzo. So here you go.
There aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there is unrest in our lives.
You got to be ready to throw a punch. Well, you have to be ready to throw a punch.
Donald Trump, I think you need to go back and punch him in the face.
That I thought he should have punched him in the face.
I feel like punching him.
I'd like to take him behind the gym if I were in high school.
If we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
No, I wish we were in high school. I could take him behind the gym.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Take him out now. Okay.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
Please, get up in the face of some Congress people.
People will do what they do.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
We're going to go in there, we're going to impeach the
Well, this is just a warning to you Trumpers. Be careful. Walk lightly. And for those of you who are soldiers, make them pay.
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Does one of us have to come out alive?
All right, so check it out, right? Now, that video explains a lot, right? And I'm going to leave you with this. I hate saying right versus left, Let's just say good versus evil, and you guys figure out which side it is. How about that?
Who's the good? Wait. Who's the good people? Like, what is the?
Exactly. That's exactly my point.
I'm thought that you can. Who's the good people?
Yeah. Who's the? And how are we? Wait, Slim.
Evil.
Okay, Slim. I just want to know. I just want to know, how are we measuring good? Like, what's the thing? How that? Okay, go ahead, Enzo. Go ahead.
So when somebody on the left can show me videos of senators and presidents calling for violence from the Republicans, then we can say that both sides are bad within this context of calling for political violence.
Okay, I got you. So
that's
okay. So for example, I have a lot of people in DC who've been laid off, right? Mm-hmm. Since Trump got in office. I'm not on either side. That's a form of economic violence. You know what I'm saying? That's economic violence.
I want political violence. Just to keep it just apples to apples, show political violence. Exactly what they're perpetrating in those videos. Not economic violence or anything that's apples to oranges.
Even the policy.
The same exact rhetoric.
Kids, that's kind of like, on a different side too.
I mean, I wanted Gray to show that video just so we can kind of see that it's not, we always talk about Trump and, what his rhetoric, but the simple fact of the matter is all sides have bad rhetoric. We just watched multiple people. I mean, Joe Biden, that one of those clips was from years ago, the first time he ran before he was even elected. So this is over 6 years of historicalness of people saying terrible things, people inciting violence, people saying there should be people wanting civil unrest, people going after ICE. We can also give more clips. So it's both sides. Obviously, Donald Trump and JD Vance do not help. They also incite violence, but the left also incites violence. I think all of this is a distraction because economically our country is crashing, and so are a bunch of other large economies in Europe. For me, this is all a psyop to keep us distracted so we don't keep looking. So we stop looking at these reports and we stop listening to what's happening in Germany, France, and Britain, because all three of them right now have all come out in the last 60 days and said they're financially collapsing. Germany is thinking about taking on their own credit debt, which is something unheard of for them. It's like when you run out of money, you get a credit card. Well, if you have a credit card, clearly you can't afford to pay your bills. So for me, this is all a distraction. Both sides are bad. They both incite fear and violence and everything. I just wanted that video to play so people can see that it is just not Donald Trump and JD Vance. It is everybody.
Yeah, because my gas, I take unleaded gas. I'm in Arizona. My gas is almost $4. So my gas is almost $4. But my library tells me, and the master teachers that I was raised by tells me never pick a side. Right? If there's a political figure. If one of these presidents pass away, all these people that talk against each other are going to be in the same church. Every last one of them are going to be in the same building if a president pass away. These people that are doing WWF to each other are going to be in the same building. And we don't have no evidence that behind the scenes, they are not coordinating this shit like Vince McMahon. I cannot believe that we will pick sides of the state. This is Rome. This is Rome. Let's not forget that this is Rome and we are the citizens of Rome. And the citizens of Rome are clashing with each other, picking a side of the 1%. That is wild. This is Rome, yo. Never forget.
Doc, what's your thoughts?
Man, everybody in the chat hit the like, man. Shout out to Nora telling everybody to get the likes up. Everybody get the likes up. We got a lot of people in the chat. I could go on the internet right now.
Did you freeze? I think he froze.
On bipartisan for both sides. I think one of the things we need to be aware of is that this is all it's all being used to control the people in this country. Making it a right versus left, or what you think is good versus what you think is evil, is just simply using this to divide us. Everyone does it, but no one should be doing it. We need to be coming together and trying to fix this country together. So I don't know, but also the dude, going back to the dude at the ICE facility, I think people make it seem like it's like ICE is something that was, discovered by Donald Trump, like it wasn't around before him, and they accredit this to him and the hate to him. And I also don't think, I think JD Vance did make a point where he said these people who are, would do these dudes violence are not good people. I mean, they are doing a job that they were tasked to do. They aren't breaking the law. They're enforcing the laws of America. So, I kind of agree with him in that point. When he goes to the left thing, he kind of loses me because both sides can be culpable. But I mean, they typically say Barack Obama was a deporter in chief, and so it just shows that that's a bipartisan thing. So I don't think that's the left or right.
Right. And I think it also is based on, how the leader carries himself. So this is what Trump said at the UN when he was talking.
It's actually creating new problems for us to solve. The best example is the number one political issue of our time, the crisis of uncontrolled migration. It's uncontrolled. Your countries are being ruined. The United Nations is funding an assault on Western countries and their borders. In 2024, the UN budgeted $372 million in cash assistance to support an estimated 624,000 migrants journeying into the United States. Think of that. The UN is supporting people that are illegally coming into the United States, and then we have to get them out. The UN also provided food, shelter, transportation, and debit cards to illegal aliens. Can you believe that? On the way to infiltrate our southern border. Millions of people came through that southern border. Just a year ago, millions and millions of people were pouring in, 25 million altogether over the 4 years of the incompetent Biden administration. And now we have it stopped, totally stopped. In fact, they're not even coming anymore because they know they can't get through.
I love the way he talks.
What
It's
took
so
place
ridiculous.
is totally unacceptable. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them and not finance them. In the United States, we reject the idea that mass numbers of people from foreign lands can be permitted to travel halfway around the world, trample our borders, violate our sovereignty, cause unmitigated crime, and deplete our social safety net.
In Trump's defense, he was mad about the teleprompter and the escalator, but I'm going to show that. Ken, how you feel about Trump, telling other countries how to have their immigration policies?
So when you look at France, when you look at all those European countries, listen, man, this is a result of the Berlin Conference, yo. They carved fucking Africa up, okay? So, like, we don't have evidence that if we stop meddling in people's shit, that they won't stop doing it. They won't stop fleeing to other countries. We destabilize people's country. We do coups on people's governments. We fuck people up. We have the book Confessions of an Economic Hitman. That's facts. We do that shit, right? So we meddle in other people's affairs and then they come to our shit, right? That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? We do that. So I'm saying, like, I don't know what people are supposed to do. Like, we do coups, we run false flags, we do all those things, and then when they flee to Western civilizations, then we're like, why? What the fuck are you doing here? You come here the right way. Okay, get out of our shit, though. Stop overthrowing their leaders. You know what I'm saying? America first to me is focus on America, right? That's get out of other people's business, and then those people won't be in ours.
For sure. So, Doc, Trump made a True Social post, and he said that Ukraine can win. He's now supporting Ukraine, and he basically wants NATO to help send Ukraine weapons, which is a 180 from where he was at before. Even Zelensky was shocked and said that, he appreciated what Trump said and everything like that. But, one of Trump's promises was to end the war in Ukraine and the war in Israel. Do you think this is a win? Do you think it's good Trump is dealing with Russian aggression?
I don't know if it's a win, and I don't know if it's good. Because I genuinely don't have all the information. I would like to think that as the commander in chief of this country, he has more information and more insight than we would have as just, you know, somebody on the outside looking in. And maybe he saw something that said to him, hey, I'm on the wrong side of this. And he had the, you know, the balls to, hey, you know, I got to switch sides. And so I don't know. He has a lot of resources. He has a lot of intel. He has to make these decisions. And the best we can do as Americans is hope that we have good intel, we have good resources, and he's making good decisions on our behalf. And if he thinks that's doing a 180 and you know, supporting Ukraine, you know, he's the president. He's going to be the president the next 3 years. We got to support him. We got to stand behind him and hope he's making a sound decision. Because, you know, less than whether or not you're a Democrat or Republican, or if you agree with Trump, that's a real serious situation for our country. So, you know, whether or not we agree with him, it will implicate it and be a part of all of us. It'll affect all of us in the long run. So, you know, if that's the decision he's gonna make, you know, it's gonna go through Congress and all. But I mean, we got a primarily a Republican Congress, so you know his party is situated to support him and be behind him. So the American people probably should too.
I'm gonna play a clip that Enzo and Mia was laughing at in the chat. Tell me if y'all notice it.
Man, why he did Biden like that?
Who really knows who was running the country? Let's be
petty,
honest.
bro.
The auto pen.
Listen. I love this administration for their social media team. Between that and the fucking Pokemon video that they put out like 2 days ago, I'm rolling on the floor. That was the funniest thing I ever seen in my eyes. Like, I don't know who's running their social medias, but they need a raise at this point.
They really do, though.
Well, I'm gonna play what happened to Trump, where they said that Trump basically that we should boycott the UN. So I'm gonna play this.
I can't believe they did Melania like that. You know, she got on some 5-inch heels, making her ass walk all up all those stairs.
So Mia, you seem to know about this. This is what Trump was mad about, the escalator not working. Do you think this is an offense that America should boycott the UN?
I mean, I think it's funny. They obviously shut it off on purpose. I mean, but at the same time, you know, Donald Trump's social media team, they're the ultimate trolls too. So I feel like it was a funny little troll joke. But to be honest, the UN doesn't do much for us at this point in time. The United States primarily funds the UN, but what are we getting out of it? Nothing. Americans themselves are not getting anything out of the UN. We put money there, but we don't get anything in return. So, I mean, to be honest, we should just pull back our money and just hang out and have a seat at the table. I don't understand why my tax-paying money is going to an organization that literally does legitimately zero, not a single goddamn motherfucking thing does the UN provide for Americans at all. No defense, no nothing. We provide the defense for the UN. We also provide, military supplies and all of that stuff for them as well. So, I mean, what is the UN actually doing for us? I'm not saying we should boycott, but I am saying I don't want my tax dollars going to unseedy NGOs that the UN is dropping money into all across the country, all across the world to destabilize other countries, from what Ken was saying. So why should our money go to them?
That's a huge sign of disrespect, I think, on a world stage, because whether or not they agree with the leader or the president of the United States, we roll out the red carpet for other people when they come here. You know, we show respect, and we may disagree in discourse. The man is 78 years old. The man's almost 80 years old. These leaders, a lot of these leaders of these countries, they're not young 30, 40-year-old guys. You know what I'm saying? So So to put them in that type of situation, what if the president falls, slips, anything happens on camera and hurts himself? What if the leader of another nation hurts himself or somebody very important? You know that they're coming. Like, no expense should be spared to make sure that we got the escalator working for these dudes. You know, like that's a little disrespectful. Like,
well,
that's a small thing.
They said they didn't do it on purpose, that it just so happened to happen. But Slim, I'm gonna play this last clip about this, and then I'll let you get your response.
I ended 7 wars, dealt with the leaders of each and every one of these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help in finalizing the deal. All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle. If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen, but she's in great shape. We're both in good shape. We both stood. And then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the 2 things I got from the United Nations: a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter. Thank you very much.
Slim, you the biggest Trump fan. You know what? He said he ended the 7 wars and then he didn't get any as help from the United Nations. Do you feel like that was a fair attack?
I mean, it's facts, man. I mean, at the end of the day, Trump does what he has to do, man. And we should be grateful, man. That whole conference was fire. What I saw was a leader, man. I saw that, everybody in that room respected him. And you could feel it. You could feel it coming through the TV, man. So, I mean, that was powerful. I mean, he just had to beat Trump at the end. You know what I mean? He wanted to beat Trump. And you could hear the laughter in the room at the same time. But back to the respect. Yo, I loved every minute of that conference, man. It was fire because Trump, he just shows America what he all about. You know what I mean? And he's a leader. And if you don't see that, you're just a hater. So at the end of the day, he's doing what he got to do, and he's telling these people how to do it too. So if they want to listen, it is what it is. If not, they're going to have to fall in line either way.
For
America
sure.
first, man.
Can I add something before we move on?
Yeah, go ahead.
2 things I wanted to touch on. With the whole funding to Ukraine and everything like that, I agree with how Trump is going about it. Selling the arms to the European Union, who's then transferring it to Ukraine. That I'm completely cool with. When they were fighting originally, how we're sitting in Congress writing legislation to give our funding to Ukraine to fight Russia. But I love this now because we can't play into the narrative anymore that Trump is a Russian asset, that Trump is doing things on behalf of Putin anymore. Now he's fighting Russia and helping out with that. And the other thing with what he wanted to leave NATO and everything like that, this is not anything new that Trump's been saying. He's been saying that he wants the United States to get out of the United Nations as well as NATO for the longest time now, way before he became president. And I agree wholeheartedly, especially with NATO. What's the point of NATO anymore? It was originally formed to combat Soviet aggression, keep the Soviets at bay as a defense to the Warsaw Pact. Now we're in 2025. The Soviets are no longer there. NATO is a relic of the past. If it wasn't for Clinton, honestly, we wouldn't be having the problems that we have in the world with all these proxy wars, as well as all the wars in the Middle East. If they would have just let NATO, or would just let Russia, the Russian Federation, become a part of NATO. Because the United States is funding one side of all these proxy wars and the war in the Middle East, and Russia's funding the other side. We've been in direct conflict with them. We're in Cold War 2.0 since the fall of the Soviet Union because of the Clinton administration and NATO not allowing them in. That's why we're in these predicaments that we are in the world. But nobody wants to seem to understand that.
Well, what they're saying, the reason Trump did a 180 is because he feels like Putin lied to him. So, I mean, that's basically what they're saying. I don't know why Trump did it, but I do agree that we should combat Russian aggression. But we're going to switch it up to everybody in the chat. This is a major case. This guy named is David. He's been accused of killing his girlfriend who was a minor. So, we talk about politics, but we try to add other stuff to it to keep you guys entertained. So this lady's going to explain everything.
You, like me, had no idea who David or D4VD is before this body was found in the trunk of his car. Let me catch you up on who he is, on his rise to stardom, and where we are with this body in the trunk. Okay, so this is David or D4VD.
What's going on, everybody? This is D4VD.
His birth name is David Anthony Burke, and he was born in New York but raised in Texas with his mom, his dad, his little sister, and his little brother. He grew up in church, did martial arts, he was homeschooled, and he played video games, specifically Fortnite. Now, in regards to this video game playing, David had goals of becoming a streamer, so he started recording himself while he was playing and then posting it online, but nobody was watching the videos.
I became a YouTuber. I was playing Call of Duty, Fortnite, all these different type of games. To try to become like the biggest next thing, streamer, Kai Cenat, everything. 200 views in my first video, steady 60 after.
And so he realized that the other streamers who were getting views were putting music behind their clips and their montages, so he decided to try that route. He started taking mainstream music and putting it behind his montages and clips of him playing video games. And then the videos started taking off.
So I started putting the mainstream songs in, and then there was a point where there was no copyright strikes. So I was making so much money. So then fast forward like a month or two, I'm making a lot of money. My mom's like, okay, maybe the game's not rotting your brain. I started getting copyright strikes left and right from UMG. And I'm like, what in the world is UMG?
Now, after these copyright strikes started coming in and he wasn't making any money anymore, he started to complain to his mom about what was happening. And she told him to just make his own music.
And she was like on a phone or something. She was like, just make your own music. Go, get out of my face. Make your own music. I was like, wait a minute.
And so he did. David says that on December 21st, 2021, he downloaded an app called BandLab. He used a beat that he found on YouTube, and then he went into his little sister's closet and made his very first song called Runaway. After he was done, he posted it on SoundCloud and got some pretty positive responses. So he decided to make a second song, and that song was called You and I. He placed this song on the back of one of his video game montages and posted it on YouTube, and the video ended up going crazy.
And I made the song called You and I, which now has, 94 million streams. It's my second song I ever made. Put it in the montage, and I tagged it on Twitter. First Fortnite player to use his own song in a video. That was the title. And bro, everyone was using the song after that day.
He made a couple more songs, and by song number 5, he decided to create a TikTok account and branded himself as a chipmunk singer. Like he would take a popular song and cover it using a chipmunk singing voice. Doing this on TikTok got him a bunch of followers, so he decided to make an original song. He still used the chipmunk voice, but in the caption, he said that if people really liked the song, he would slow it down and post the regular version. And the TikTokers said yes.
Why is it so good? Please drop. Wait, why is this actually good? Kylie Jenner used your sound. Alvin never misses.
So the day after the chipmunk version of his original song, David posted the real slowed down version and got more positive feedback. 2 TikToks later, he posted another original song of his called Romantic Homicide. And this song ended up being one of his most viral songs ever. So by August of 2022, his original songs are going crazy. He's starting to make more money and get more interest off of his original music than he is off the video game montages that he started doing all of this for.
Fortnite was going up, music was like down here, but then they switched, and it was making me more money too. But yeah, that's how I knew.
And then because of the success of his original songs, he starts getting hit up by music labels.
So I released these 2 songs in July. By August, it was
every label's called.
Every single one. I was 17.
Things just kind of go crazy for David after that. He signs to Interscope Records in August of 2022, performs in Milan at the Valentino Fashion Week show in June of 2023, then began opening for SZA's World Tour by September of 2023, and then jumping to 2025, David released his first album, which is called Withered, in April of this year, and then began his very own world tour called Withered World Tour in August of this year. Now, according to the streets, and I don't really listen to the streets, but I don't have any reports yet, while David was having this meteoric rise to fame, he was also allegedly, apparently, having some sort of connection to Celeste Rivas. And that all comes out because on September 8th, 2025, which is only about a month after David started his world tour, the LAPD has gotten a call to a tow yard in Hollywood, California, because of reports of a foul odor coming from one of the vehicles. The vehicle is a Tesla, and it had previously been abandoned on a Hollywood street for over a month before it was towed to the tow yard. It was then at the tow yard for about 2 days before they called the police because of the smell. And when police arrived to the tow yard and opened the trunk, they discover a decomposed and dismembered body. The LA medical examiners are able to identify this body as being 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, who was last seen when she left her house on April 5th, 2024. Police begin investigating, and they learn that this car that the body was found in, with its Texas plates, is registered to David Anthony Burke, aka David. Now, there's been a ton of interesting developments since this has all began unfolding. First, Celeste's mom told TMZ that her daughter did have a boyfriend named David. And then fans of David have begun pointing out some interesting lyrics to some of David's songs. They began pointing out some old Instagram posts that he supposedly made. And they've also noted that Celeste had a sh tattooed on her finger, and David does too. Another interesting tidbit is that fans have said David's song Romantic Homicide was released on September 7th, which also happens to be Celeste's birthday. And just so we're clear, David is now 20 years old and Celeste was 15. Now again, David has been on his first world tour, so after this news hit, at first he continued with his tour dates. But as more and more information has come out, it's now being reported that some of his dates are being canceled. To be clear, no arrests have been made in connection to this case, and Celeste's cause of death has not been announced by the medical examiner. So this one is still very much unfolding, but I sure have a lot of questions. So I'll keep watching, and I'll be back if something happens.
I make music for the people to take whatever they need from it. I don't push a specific, like, oh yeah, I said this in this song, that means that's the only thing it could possibly be about. But nah, I just make music, and if you need whatever you need from that song that you can apply to your own situation, I feel like my job is done, to be honest with you.
Sorry for the volume, guys. Doc, I know you researched this a lot. What's your thoughts on it?
And I think part of it, what they got wrong is they keep reporting her as 15. Her body was found, I think, the day before or the day after her 15th birthday, but she had already been deceased in the car. So she was essentially a 14-year-old, 13-year-old runaway when she's hanging out with this guy who's 19, and he's eventually 20 years old. She's 14 years old when she loses her life. She was found on her 15th birthday. She had run away for like a year or something like that. And I think it's so strange that a guy could be 19, 20 years old and he's on stream, on camera with a child who's 13 years old, 12 years old. Said he met her when she was 12 years old. He's on screen with a child who's 12 years old. You know, he's 17, 18 years old. And the people who screamed it said they believed her to be 18 years old. The people who ran the streams and stuff like that said they believed her to be 18 years old. And I think it's a lot of misinformation around it, but I think one of the problems is not only does he need to be held accountable, those people allowing a 13, 12-year-old child to be on screen hanging out with an adult, all of those people need to be held accountable as well.
I want to put this up because Nora wants me to tell, like, she went to the Diddy trial and she met that lady. That lady's a lawyer that was doing the video. But
also he has a song that was unreleased that was titled Celeste. So it's not like he's gonna be able to deny knowing this little girl. You know what I mean? Like, he knows her. They're on screens together. They're in camera pictures. So that's another thing.
Me, I know you're a super TikToker, so I'm pretty sure you know this story. What you think about it?
I mean, I've looked a little bit into it. I mean, as of right now, they haven't released. There's literally been zero information released by the police. They haven't even figured out her cause of death. They haven't said how long her remains have been decomposing. I mean, we don't even know. I saw rumors on X about her being pregnant, unsubstantiated, that they found human infant remains on his property or near his property, also unconfirmed, unsubstantiated. So essentially we know nothing. He hasn't been charged. He's not even being held. He did cancel his world tour, but as of right now, all we have is, unfortunately, a dead teenager that was in the back of a car. And the only connection is these small puzzle pieces, but really we just don't have any other information. The police have said nothing else beyond that. But we also, I mean, I feel like her parents and her family should be charged because they knew what she was doing. I mean, they knew she had an older boyfriend. I mean, according to the reports that I've read, her and David had this relationship before she took off or ran away or whatever happened. I mean, why was her family allowing her to have this older boyfriend? I mean, what was going on? Why were they not watching her? Why, like, what's happening? So I think they really need to dive a lot deeper into the family, because I have teenagers, and I mean, I would have a lot of questions. I wouldn't just be like, oh, well, my daughter's dating this older guy and his name is David, but here's your phone. You can go off. The teachers knew about him. I mean, this was like an open secret and everybody knew. So I feel like there should definitely be some child CPS charges on a lot of these people, because what the hell?
So he came out with a video. So I want to get Enzo, Slim, and Ken to say, do they feel like he told on himself in this video? Because this is the video, and people are trying to say that the video that he dropped on her birthday, that it's about her and what he did to her. You rap. Oh, Slim not even there. Enzo, what you think when you saw the video? Do you feel like he told on himself?
I'm looking at this as what was that other kid that killed his best friends? What was it, YW Melly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what I'm like hearing. Like watch it. Yeah, he pretty much just confessed to the entire murder in a song.
Yeah, he dropped on her birthday, right? I think it was or the day she was.
Too much of a coincidence. He's found in his car, dropped on her birthday, and then what's the third one? The unreleased song. 3 strikes, you're out. Like,
so Slim, you're a rapper, and Tekashi 6ix9ine was basically talking about with his big video Gummo, like he gave a lot of the guys their red rats because he wanted to do marketing and show like, this is what I'm talking about. This is going to help marketing for people to believe it. So, you know, art imitates life. So you as an artist, how do you feel about him doing this? Because a lot of these artists, they really live in this. That's one of the big reasons I like NBA Youngboy so much, because he's telling the truth. So how do you feel about this with this artist?
This is some bullshit. Like, I don't think this should even be on the scale of what they did. This is some real inhumane shit. And just like Enzo said, like it was his vehicle, correct?
Yeah.
She was found in the trunk of that vehicle, correct? So what the fuck are we talking about? And why isn't this guy in custody? We'll deal with the underage shit later, but let's deal with the body in his trunk first. So the music should be null and void. The evidence is there. Forget the music. He's just getting more likes and views based on what he's doing on the outside. But there's a body in your car of a underage girl that you used to deal with. So in my mind, I'm thinking he tried to break up with her. She ain't want to have it because she's young and in love. He looking at the Diddy situation, and he had to get out the situation any way he can. And we sitting here like we confused? No, this dude needs to be in prison tonight.
Kid, what you think?
Well, you know, I grew up, I remember Stan Eminem. I remember Eminem killed his mom and all that. So I'm used to shocking hip hop things. I think we have to hold space for the Gen Z assassin, because we're looking at something totally different. As people coming from 2-parent households, they're not going to fit the typical profile that we think of when people spaz out and go crazy. I also want to say that I'm really looking into what happens when people stop running from predators, meaning like, I don't know if we evolved as human beings to where we're used to danger, and the quality of American life, for the most part, we don't got big insects killing us. We don't got like big predators chasing us. This is like the first time in recorded history where things on a day-to-day basis, you're safe as fuck. And the younger people, they don't have the same conflicts as we did, whether that's a certain type of racism or just a certain type of violence in the country. For the most part, you are good. And I wonder, is it creating some type of anxiety or something, or meaning? It seems like the young people, they are grasping at meaning because they're not running from anything. They're not being sent off to war. There's not like a lot of shit that was affecting people my age and older. Their life is easier, so it seems it's triggering some type of depression. It's seeming some type of toxic relationship. People been killing people, but I've just got my eye on the young people because I think the world that we created is so gravy for them that it may trigger some type of different emotions. I don't know. I'm kind of studying it a little bit.
Well, there is one person that thinks he's innocent, Charleston White.
Oh, Jesus. Grifter.
He didn't do
Grifter.
Fuck out of here. All the evidence that's out there.
When they gonna let a nigga stay out this long and they got a little bit of evidence? They didn't arrest nigga with way less evidence. If nothing else, put him in jail just to put a hole on him.
A dead body found in your car?
Nothing, listen, hold on. If they find a dead body in me and your car, and this is our car, do you think they'll let me and you stay out like long? They got all, so think about this. If they got all this information on him dating a minor, an underage kid, and she look like a white girl, mixed girl, what nigga they let just stay free like this? We already claim about injustices. You don't think, like we see in all the first 48s in crime units victims, they would find some kind of reason to hold him and keep him, make sure he don't do nothing to flee? They're not, no arrest. They got all this evidence to point to say he did it. He done sliced the body up because the body was butchered. So that means somewhere there's a location where there's been blood, where they put cut the lights. They got all this, no arrest. Y'all really think he done this and everything points at him? That's why you can't go with this. If everything points at him, why hadn't they made no arrest when we see niggas get arrested with less evidence? With less evidence, circumstantial evidence they go to trial with. So they got all this physical evidence in his car, his girlfriend. Come on.
Does anybody agree with Charleston White?
I agree partly with Charleston White. Not on the fact that he's innocent, but on it is kind of weird that they have held people with less evidence. Like they'll usually find a reason to hold you. They'll make something up. Finding her in his car. Another thing they didn't say in the video, the car was abandoned across the street from a residence he was renting. Like they would have found something to hold you. He was on tour actually when her remains were found and the car was towed. But
did he sign the Interscope records?
Yeah.
This could be a ritual.
Thank you. I saw that in the comments. Thank you. Thank you. Tinfoil hat is activated.
I mean, for him,
hat is on.
For him not
to go tinfoil hat.
But I'm saying though, for him not to be arrested, he signed a record deal. I'm just saying though, we already know how Hollywood play. You know what I'm saying? It was in California. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we can no longer not consider shit anymore.
Hollywood can't clean up the mess.
Yes, they can. Those are $1 billion companies.
That's crazy.
Doc, they have police in pocket. That's Hollywood.
I think they would run the ritual a little bit cleaner than that than leaving the car parked
on
the road.
Not necessarily though. For all we know, it didn't go as planned and the car wasn't supposed to be there. I mean, rituals, they only work if everything goes to plan and everybody plays their part. So for all we know, maybe he didn't bring the car, maybe he ran out of time, maybe it wasn't as clean. I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire, and plenty of people all over the world have all said the same thing when it comes to rituals, witchcraft, Hollywood, whatever. They've all said the same thing, whether it's Hollywood or music artists, so on and so forth. So it's not out of the realm that these people believe so strongly that they are willing to do X, Y, and Z for their means to an end.
Hear from Enzo. They want to hear
John
from
Armand. Want to know your thoughts, Enzo?
I've never heard of rituals in like the rap game or anything like that. That's my whole thing with it. Like, if there's anybody like that signed to Interscope or like any big record labels that are rappers, I would love to hear about that because I've looked into it heavily when it comes to like rock and roll and everything like that. Like that shit's well documented. There's plenty of them out there that have like sacrificed themselves or whatever it is for them to gain notoriety. Like most notoriously, you talk about like Vince Neil and how he got into that DUI and killed 2 people and just nothing happened to him. He did what, like 6 hours in jail and did community service and nothing happened. That's why I was like, I never heard that before with rap. So I would love to hear that if anybody knows anything.
But a lot of them are signed to the same labels though. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the rappers and the rock artists and country artists, sometimes Warner Brothers, stuff like that, they be signed to actually the same labels. And we see a pattern when before artists take off, is some type of humiliation, is some type of death in the family. It's so much of a pattern, and we can no longer say throughout the years, the last 30, 50, 40, 50 years that, oh man, that's just a coincidence.
And I think it's a big thing that like this is the ritual thing I'll give you. It's not something new that, you know, it dates back to Robert Johnson selling his soul at the cross at the you know, the 4-way to be able to be the best blues singer ever, you know. So that ideal goes back a long way. I just don't know if I believe it.
I mean, did you guys ever see the videos of Bohemian Grove? Like those videos are freaky. And then the opening ceremony to CERN every year, also really freaky. I mean, these elites, these rich people be doing really weird, freaky, abnormal things for their opening ceremonies. I mean, even the Olympics, that is a ritualistic opening ceremony. I mean, we're surrounded by paganism continuously. It doesn't surprise me that something like that could happen.
So, Slim, I got a video for you because he did that song in one take.
Talking about Romantic Homicide in particular because this is the only song that I've ever made where everything was done in one take. Look, like the entire lead vocal, there's no cuts. The background vocals, no cuts. And the entire thing is only one lead and then just some oohs and ahs in the background. Literally every single word is improvised. As soon as I heard the first 15 seconds, I knew what I had to say. And the first word I said was, "I'm scared," and everything else followed after. It was the most flow state-like thing of all time.
So then you stay in the closet to add those backing vocals?
Right.
Then one other layer, then you're out.
Literally, it's that quick. And then the rest of the process is just me hitting the 3 dots and then speeding it up,
right,
pitching it up. And this is the version that's on streaming. And then I just dropped it like that.
Yeah.
Literally.
You've done it before school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Time for school. Right after that, I had to do like 6 assignments.
Slim, you know, when I was in the booth, I was first take shawty. I feel like you got to get punched in, and they got to be like, "Hey, Slim, do the right vocals." So, how you feel about him doing it in one take? Are you muted? And it was one take, and it was a hit song.
That ain't rap. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know, that's his style of music. No disrespect. I just noticed the fingernails. So that threw me off. So that really ain't hip hop. But you know, it just shows where we are today, man. Like it's a lot of things going on in these kids' mind, man, and it's really messed up. And number one, I hope he doesn't get away with this. I believe he's the motherfucking culprit. I mean, he's the one that's basically involved with this situation with this young female. And I think the nigga crazy, man. Excuse my French, but that's just, I just feel he just insane. So y'all can label it mental health if you want. But this brother know what he's doing, and he know what he did, and he know why he did it.
Well, since you call him crazy, I'm going to play the last clips of why people think he's crazy. Then I'm going to let everybody do their final thoughts. So this is him having a coffin at the video shoot.
Oh my gosh, so you actually might be onto something. I ran to Google to see what autonomy means. It means pain. His pain ended in August of 2025. You said she might be gone for a month. You might be right. But he had a memorial and his fans attended. He had a real casket in there and fans were really leaving messages. Another thing that was creepy, he actually had a funeral director there. Unloading the casket, this is creepy.
So this is him with the blood, and he basically was inspired by anime. So this is him talking about it.
Blindfold, and he's basically an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego. And the story of the manga went like I was a detective, and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments, kind of like Fight Club with Tyler Durden. And he would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as the detective. So like when I was as the detective, I'd be like solving murders that I'm committing myself.
See, now they got girls saying don't date the black guys that watch anime. Doc, man, you got the same favorite anime. Doc got the One Piece tattoo. That's my favorite one. Yeah,
I'm into the occult, man. I'm into the occult, bro. That's and he's not being instructed to do this on his own. He's 20 years old. So there's people that are behind the scenes that are.
Your final thoughts too, Clint. We'll put it
up. Okay. Yeah. So I'm into this shit. So that him signing a record label, it's not what you believe. This is what it is. That America is just a world that is on top of worlds that already existed. So when you think of Babylon, when you think of ancient Rome, when you think of ancient Greece, the structure still continues the same exact behavior. You know what I'm saying? The poor worship Yahweh. That's what the poor worship. The elite have a whole different spiritual system, though. And the same practices that existed then existed now, right? So what this boy is doing and him being linked to Interscope Records, if he can beat this, they can make all this shit go away, right? These are warlocks, these are witches, and these are master occultists. So they can make this shit go away like you never heard about it. So it just depends on what kind of bloodline this boy has, who he comes from, who his parents are, right? So this is just rituals. I gotta look into when it the day that it happened. It could be some gematria shit going on, but this is deep. This is more deep than it looks. But I will say this, and I'll land here. I think it's a good time for everybody to, if you got a library, go back and crack open your books from 20 years ago, right? I think people are a little too dialed in to the things that they see on their algorithm, and I think people are a little too dialed in to watching CNN and watching Fox News. Yo, first off, touch grass, go outside, go into nature. Go outside and be in nature. You know what I'm saying? Put your feet in the dirt, ground. Bring your books with you. Journal, right? The reason why everyone thinks the world is going crazy is because you're plugged in. The world is just the world. It's always been like this. You're just plugged in. Find something else.
For sure. If you're watching right now, hit the subscribe button and press that notification bell to know when we go live. Me, I see you yawning over there. So what's your final thoughts so you can go to sleep?
Thank you. My final thoughts is, I mean, I'm kind of on, my tinfoil hat is on. I'm kind of on Ken's time right now. Definitely feels very ritualistic. Definitely feels the vibes are off. At the end of the day, an innocent girl lost her life, and we need to mourn that. She did not deserve what happened to her, and I, honest to God, truly hope she gets justice. I hope the family gets answers. I just hope that she's able to be laid to rest with answers, and we are able to prosecute the person that murdered her. Do I feel that it's this David guy? I do. You know, he has a lot of evidence pointing towards him. However, the police haven't released anything. There's no official autopsy report. We don't know, but I do hope for prosecution for her murder and that she gets laid to rest appropriately.
For sure. And let me play that clip. I forgot to play the clip of the video of him with his girlfriend before everybody else goes. So that's him with her right there. Enzo, what's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are this was a good episode, like always. Yeah, no, I'm seriously wondering why bro's not locked up. Like you pretty much have all the evidence. You have the confession and to brought a casket to the whatever they did there, the whole blood thing. They should be testing the blood on that. Maybe that's her blood. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna put the whole tinfoil suit on and say, yeah, that's her blood. And the casket was there because they were gonna take her out of the car and put her in the casket and then bury her somewhere else. And they just forgot to bury the body or somebody found it too early. I don't know. Tinfoil suit, crazy theories.
Okay, so we got a super chat. Mandy says, I have a question as a non-American and white girl. Do you think there's something wrong with black culture in 2025? And I am 50. I remember black culture in the 80s and 90s. Slim, I think this is a question for you. You could give her an answer.
Oh man, yeah, Mandy, we all messed up. We the same age actually, so yeah, you're right. It wasn't like this, and it was just crazy people, insane people. That's all it was. It wasn't no in between. It wasn't no, crazy stuff going on. Now we got all these words and accolades and stuff for people, but to that dude, man, if he did that, he's a piece of shit. He needs to be locked up. If that is the case, we will find out the evidence. I believe he is the culprit, like I stated. There's no room on this planet for a person with that mindset that's going to take a young girl and take her life that's so just easy like that. That's just unfair, man. But to the people out there, man, y'all know what it's like. Follow the good. We are living in a spiritual war, good versus evil. This is what I believe. And this is what I'm sticking to, because I see a whole lot of evil shit against a lot of people trying to be good. Peace.
Doc, your final thoughts?
Hey, I definitely think if he didn't do it, he has something to do with it. And I looked into this. I think she had a mother and a father, and as parents, I think you have to be real conscious of what your kids are consuming. My son is in the chat right now, and my daughter also watches. It was at no point where I have a 13-year-old daughter. If you think she'll be over at David's house and I'm not kicking the door in with the fire, you know what I'm saying, and dragging her out of there, you know what I mean? And it was things that my mom did for me growing up as a kid that I had to realize that some things I didn't like it, but I respected it later, and I grew up and I understood. And unfortunately, this young lady won't get a chance to grow and understand because if you see her on screen and you see her on these cameras and the teachers know and everybody know, no one made the hard choice and just showed up over there or found out where she was at or had her location. I got my kid's location and made her understand that she's a child and did what was best for her. So that's a problem. Also, I think he's guilty. Hopefully, if he's not guilty, I think he knows who did it, and hopefully they get to the end of this and her family gets justice. And Meow says, and speaks hood. Shut the fuck
up. Thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you to the cast. We do this every Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the rise of imitation Charlie Kirks. So tune in again for that. And we'll be following this case closely. Of course, we'll be bringing you all the trending stuff in politics. Thank you for watching. Have a good night. Always vote.